So from a parade of provinces, we head into the ladies category. MX4 is in the house. And can you believe it? Over 20 lady riders lined up in this gate. Once again, just showing this is the biggest motocross event in the Southern Hemisphere. North versus South, and the ladies now going to battle for honours. The Lima sisters should have the advantage here over everybody. And there you go, inside line from Jay Dean. She gets the whole shot, forcing a little bit of a manoeuvre there on the Kawasaki. You can see just being put onto the sideline. A little bit of a manoeuvre there to try and find a way through there on Kelly Bitka. And Bitka up into what is now third place. It's the De Lima sisters 1 and 2. And then further back in the pack, they're starting to get into their usual little battles amongst the usual contenders there. Minky Kaywood didn't quite get the start she wanted, so we'll keep an eye on her progress. But at this stage, it's Jadine De Lima from Cheyenne De Lima, and the two of them out there on the Pegasus Racing Monster Energy Yamahas, getting away from everybody else. 18 is Angie Yulton. And there comes Minky Kaywood, slowly but surely making her way to the front end. Just up the road, as you can see there from Calvi LeCunty, and 2 riders down. 249 going down there. That is a big problem for Cheyenne Cherty. Looks like she managed to get back up and riding. Fortunately, with these lady riders, they have got their own little fights, their own little battles that they usually contend with each other. And we'll keep an eye on those ones. The in-house fight here between the two sisters has still got to be sorted out. Looks like we're going to see a change up there. Up into third place, Angie Yulton being closed down there by Minky Kaywood, as well as from Misha Bjerkes. So there's a couple of riders looking for that third spot, and they're all fighting hard for it. 110 coming through there. Emily Pinar, nice little run here from her. Pinar on the Husky. Mint condition Husky by the looks of things. Change up for the lead. Yes, there you go. Cheyenne hits the front. Jadine drops to second. And a little bit of problems here for Angie Yulton. She's dropped back slightly as well. So it hasn't quite gone according to plan. You can see the riders now also going down that new step up and step down section. That step down section actually took a walk over on the day. It's a massive jump. Higher than 7th heaven. But on the takeoff, you are literally blind as to what happens on the other side of the jump. And the landing, you've got to commit. So that's why a couple of the ladies there just rather rolling through it and not going to try and risk anything too much. Kaywood moving away through rapidly. And has slowly got up into what is now third place on track behind the two De Lima sisters. Yulton is down into fourth. Representing Western Province by the looks of it, now hanging tight. Further back, Free States represented there by the 603 of Malinka Zurich. It's nice to see that the class of ladies have improved. Onto the final lap here. And look at this. In fact, have a good look at this, because the 7-7 of Jadine De Lima is closing in on her sister rapidly. A little look over the shoulder. Yeah, there's a bit of concern, I think, from Cheyenne. She realizes that she's run out of laps here and cannot afford to make any mistakes or get caught out possibly by some of the backmarkers there. Megan Redane, I think, possibly just getting in the way slightly, but didn't have too much of an issue there to keep her out. So is this going to be Cheyenne, or is it going to be Jadine by the time the checkered flag comes out? We know third place is pretty much in the hands of Minky Kaywood. Oh, well, that's commitment there. In the step down the last couple of laps. Yeah, look at this. Side by side between the two sisters to the checkered flag. Who's going to have what it takes over the final jump? Here we go to the line. The flag is out. And it's Cheyenne De Lima who wins out over Jadine. Only just. How was that? I mean, there's literally, I think, about half a second between the two of them across the line. But they would end up overall being first and second, with Cheyenne taking 2 victories over Jadine's 2 second places. Minky K, we've got 3 third places. Misha Bjerkes, Angie Yulton. MX2 is arguably one of the most competitive categories in the country and in the world. And let's have a look and see what's going to happen now, as 14 riders are about to go to battle here for MX2. Stab Orland. Well, he's from Uganda, so I'm not quite sure what province he's representing today. We'll have a look and see as they get out the gates and head towards turn 1. Looks like Stab might have got the whole shot, actually. So Orland trying to outgun the rest of the pack. Barn Chitoy is right there as well. He's right on his tail. Around the outside, in fact, for Barn. It's a little bit out of shape. And now tries to come back on the inside line. He goes to second, possibly third. No, third. He gets up to third place. Good start there. Jaden Proctor's in there as well. Good start there from the man. And we heard from him up front how hard he's going to try and push to get that Honda of his into the mix. We've got Mark Cardy, Ricky Roth, Priest Romans in the pack as well. Nice run there from them. Anu Simon just behind that. Chapa Anu Simon trying to make it up there on the second of the Hondas. So out front, Stab Orland leads. And he's got a fight of note with Barn Tutoy and Jaden Proctor. The two of them right there. Kind of a battle of the ones there, 81 and 101. Trying to close the 265 down of Stav Orland. Orland on the KTM. Husqvarna and Honda are right on his tail. There's the step down. Nice shot there from this side of the jump. You can see just how much commitment you have to have. If it was a normal jump, you wouldn't be worried, but there's a big gap there between the landing zone and the takeoff zone. And you've got to certainly know what to do on a motocross bike to get that right. Even some of the veteran and grandmaster riders were concerned about it initially on the day. Stav Orland getting away at this stage from Jaden Proctor. Proctor hangs on for second. Carty coming through there, not too far behind, and trying to close that gap down. Keep an eye on Mark Carty. Behind that, it's the 22 of Brees Romans, and then 592. Here's Arnu Simon, 714, Tyron Beverly. Joshy Fletcher in there as well. Stephen Marschatz, and of course we've got Zadrian Grace and Tony Tully out there too. Here's your 14 riders, or 13 riders now, that are fighting for the 250 category. Oh, thank you for that. That's exactly what we want to see. High-flying motocross bikes over 7th heaven, and 4 of them in a row, going almost 3 stories in the air. It's just brilliant stuff. Warren Toy is closing down on Proctor. It looks like Ricky Raff's under a bit of pressure as well. Carty's on his tail. So Carty and Raff fighting now, possibly to spoil each other's day. Don't know if anyone's going to have anything to spoil Stav Orland's day at this stage. Because the fight here between Warren Toy and Jaden Proctor is allowing that 265 bike to get away. Raff continues his fight there with Carty. And Orland continues on his merry way at the front end. Stav Orland showing that international and of course MX of Nations, the African Nations, was only a couple of weekends ago down at Zone 7. We spoke to Specie up at the top of the show. He had a huge contingent down there. Nowhere near as big as over 300 riders here at the Inland Motocross Championships North versus South. Oh, great shot, cameraman. Lovely little look back. Taking off the tear-off, and Orland just in his stride. He is certainly the class of the field here in the MX2s. Change up a second. There you go. 101 finding a way through. Barn Toy gets the Husky ahead of the Honda with a lap to go. It could be perfect timing there from Barn Toy. I don't think he's got enough time, though, to catch Stav. So Toy versus Proctor is the battle here for the final lap. And it's going to be a big one, because Barnes not going to give up without a fight. Throwing that KwaZulu-Natal Honda into the mix there. Try and close down here on the man from Gauteng. That's a big fight. Here we go. A little bit of chopping and changing in the mid-pack as well. But Stav Orland finding his way through the back markers with relative ease. And will take the checkered flag here in heat number 1. He beats out Warren Toy and Jaden Proctor, who are coming to the line still. It's not done yet between them. I think Proctor might have just lost it there on the last part of the lap. And Toy, yes, hangs on for second. It's an awesome run. Fantastic effort there from them. Mark Carty finished up in 4th. Let's have a look at how they finished up overall. Orland taking the double victory on the day. Jaden Proctor in 2nd. And Warren Toy sharing 2nd place there with him. Both on 42 points. Ricky Raff in 4th. Arnu Simon in the top 5. Alright. Let's see what's going to happen here amongst our veteran riders. MX3's in the house, about to go to battle. Field of MX3s. They were supposed to be combined with MX1, but they decided to run them separately, which is not a bad thing actually, because these guys probably not got the same kind of pace as the MX1 riders, but they certainly have got good pace. And you can see out front there's going to be a fight of note. Marion van Meulen already starting to put the pressure on there. He's at his home track, and he's got Mornay Somo there with him as well. So those two are going to fight for Orange Free State. Well, just the Free State as is known now, but they are orange in colour, so I suppose we can call them the Orange Free State today. They're fighting hard for honors, but looks like Levi Doherty might have got the whole shot. And is he going to try and get away? No, he hasn't. So there's a fight of note on here between those riders for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Behind that, Chad Tyler, Keegan Deploy, Schickenheider's in there as well, Jono Deploy, and Justin Boniface. Mario Detoy, Jared Eve, cut for Rivaldo Smith, and Jason Hill. Saw Big J there in the gates, ready to go. And a nice field, as I said here, of these MX3 riders. Of other riders have joined in there, so they're not quite the same kind of mix that they expected in the practice session this morning, but they're definitely going to see that this track has now changed completely and has turned into one of the most epic motocross tracks that has ever been prepped at BORC. Great job from the team here, and an awesome effort to get that all done. They had to try and get some water down on the circuit, and of course overnight rain certainly helped out with all of today's proceedings. 114A, that is Laurier de Toy, just up ahead there of the 15, but Jono Deploy is starting to close things down. 222 is Rivaldo. Have we got a change in the front? Yes, we have. Levi Doherty's hit the front, and he's now ahead of Meiring Vermeulen and Morne Sommer. So it looks like it's Viapia versus the Free State. If you go just down the road from here, there's a nice stadium that usually hosts that kind of competition. But it's today here at BORC that we're watching the Viapia take on the Free State. He's not giving up though. And neither is Morne. Morne Sommer not too far behind. Sommer not too far behind. Nochal as we get into this one. But I think Levi is going to try and control things on that Honda. And he's got just a little bit of breathing room there over the two Free State riders. So Vermeulen and Sommer, have they got an answer here to that 9-9? Chad Tyler's dropped back slightly there on the second of the Hondas. So he's got a bit of pressure coming now from Keegan Deploy. It seems to be that this man on the Honda could be the man to beat. Let's see how hard Meiring Vermeulen is pushing. He's going to have what it takes to close that gap down here in the closing stages. He is. He's closing down rapidly. So it's a nice fight on here between the two of them over 7th heaven. He can see the 9 now, and he can smell that motorcycle out of him. The exhaust fumes coming straight into his helmet, but is that going to fire him up enough to close things down here on Doherty? Down the step down. He's lost a bit of ground here in the closing stages, so it looks like he's going to settle for that second spot. And yeah, he doesn't have an answer. You can see just how the body language has changed slightly there. Maybe starting to feel the effects of how that track has ratted up. And it's got a little bit rougher over the first heats of the day. Morne Sommer in third. 143 is Chad Tyler. That's the second of the Hondas and the second of the KwaZulu-Natal riders. In fact, he's the leading KwaZulu-Natal rider, I beg your pardon. Because this is Levi Doherty for the Viapia, who wins out over Meiring Vermeulen, Morne Sommer. And it's KwaZulu-Natal there in fourth place with Chad Tyler on the second Honda. Overall results though for MX3s, let's have a look at that. Doherty with a double victory, Vermeulen with a double second, Chad Tyler just beating out Morne Sommer there for 3 and 4, Struckenheider, Deploy, your top 7. Let's get into the big class now. MX1 in the gate, Adriano Catalano looking for a big battle there. Look out for Seth Vananabile. But we have got the welcome return of Slade Smith from International American Motocross duties. And out the gates, is it going to be Smith? No, it's not. It's going to be Johan Vogelsang flying the flag for the Free State. And alliteration aside, it's got the whole shot. What a move there from Vogelsang. He is the man to catch in any whole shot activity. And you can see Slade getting caught up in that pack. Vogelsang is getting away. He's going to try and hold this pack up as much as possible. Good start from Dalton Fenter. Looks like he might be up into third. And a massive whip coming out of Johan Vogelsang. Watch out for Slade Smith. He didn't quite get the start he wanted. You can see he got bogged down slightly there in turn 2 as they all went on the inside line. But Smith will be looking to come through the field rapidly and get to that front end as quickly as possible. He's going to try and use all that international experience here today to try and bring him back into contention here at the front. At the back, Mark Loboskakny brings up the tail end. Catalano's in there as well. The two of them having a bit of a fight of note. The Gauteng team captain, Adriano Catalano. Always a great man to watch on a motocross track. Here comes Smith. Slowly but surely coming onto the back end there of Dalton, closing down now the two of them onto Vogelsang. 81. Ooh, where are you going there? 81. Jaden Proctor off track completely. That's certainly not where JD wanted to be, that's for sure. Something must have gone wrong there on that Honda. But as they come through to complete that first lap in anger, you can see just how hard these boys are pushing. Vogelsang under a bit of pressure now. It's coming from Carty. Carty's on his tail. Mark Carty with a little mistake there. Oh, looks like Carty's got a bit of a problem. Yes, he has. Carty's come off the track completely. He actually slammed his leg down into one of the ruts, and I think he might have broken his leg. That's why he's pulled off the circuit. Mark Carty out of this one completely. That is a huge moment there for Carty Racing. Smith now into second. Looking to close that gap down and possibly get ahead of Vogelsang. Can he do it? That's Dalton Fenter up there as well. So Dalton Fenter has closed the gap down too. Smith is coming, but Dalton Fenter is the first rider to get there. Now that Smith's hit the front, is there any answer going to be coming out of that Ridgeway race bar bike that he's on? He's on the Husqvarna. Pushing hard now to stay ahead of Dalton Venter versus Vogelsang, and make that Dalton Venter now ahead of Vogelsang, up into second. Johan down into third. So he hung on for a couple of laps. A valiant effort there from the Free State man, but I don't think he's going to be able to catch these two. Slade Smith on the Ridgeway race bar. Husqvarna in second place. It's out of Africa, Monster Energy Yamaha with Dalton Venter on board. Venter having a good run here. Has he got enough to try and close things down there on Smith? Gap opened up slightly here into the bottom section of the circuit. Equidistant apart. Then the battle. Look at that for fourth place. Anu Simon, Seth van der Nabile, and joining that party is Matty Milan. Great to have Matty Milan back on a motocross track, by the way. Fantastic to give Yamaha a chance to be back and represented with Milan on board. He's now part and parcel of course, the Yamaha squad. And Milan is maybe a little bit rusty, which is why he's a little further down than what he'd normally be. But he'd be loving life in that little fight with Anu and Seth. Big whip there from our whole shot man. But it looks like third place is where Vogelsang is going to end up. Smith keeping it all together at the front. Staying smooth. Not allowing Dalton Venter to close that gap down at all. Venter's tried. He's put a couple of good laps in. In fact, Venter's put the fastest lap of the race in. A 1:49 coming out of Dalton Venter to close that gap down. But I don't know if it's enough. Smith would have seen that. He'll probably just turn the pace up with the pit board being shown to him saying that Venter's closing. He'll just turn the wick up slightly and enough for him to come across the line to take the checkered flag. So race one goes to Slade Smith ahead of Dalton Venter and Johan Vogelsang. Let's look at the overalls. It's Anu Simon who jumps up just ahead of Vogelsang into third behind Venter and Smith for the overalls for MX1, and then Seth van der Nabile, Catalano and Milan, your top seven. After another spectacular day's racing here at North versus South, it was not only the North versus South that had to be sorted out. The Dragon Energy Northern Interprovincial Championship, the Mayfair Gearbox Inland Championship, and North versus South points were all up for grabs on this weekend in Bloemfontein. Another spectacular day's racing saw some huge battles, which we brought you throughout the show. And congratulations to all of the overall winners, taking not only the title of North versus South champions in each of their classes, but some of them wrapping up the 2023 titles in the Northern Interprovincials and in the Mayfair Gearbox Interprovincial Championship as well. Fantastic effort there from all our riders, eventually seeing the Free State coming third overall on 2,635 points. In second place, it was KwaZulu-Natal on 2,639 points, so only 4 points between them. But your champions are Gauteng again, 3,543 points, and the trophy for North versus South for 2023. A massive thanks to Inland Motocross Championship, the BORC, and all their associate sponsors for this action of North versus South 2023.